Transformational leadership is, for me, about how you inspire and motivate people to achieve the best, but also to be the best that they can be. And that might be through a change, a new way of working, streamlining services, or maybe it's just them performing well every day. My team's innovative focus from today was that we actually reflected on the basic and fundamental concepts of effective leadership and how we can be transformational in that approach. So it was more kind of like reflections of how we are as leaders every day. So like sweating the small stuff, getting the basics right. It's a bit like a house. So I had to buy a property recently, so the choice was a new build or an older house. Always the controversial argument. I went for the older house. Why? Because although the new build looks pretty, there's lots of basic structural problems with them, such as, the foundations not being good, the walls not being built properly, not enough storage, plug sockets, even the garden not being even. And why does this happen? Because it's thrown up under the strict timelines, it's got to be cost effective is everything, and there's more focus on the trendy bits, a bit like our transformation work, on the nice kitchen, the extra story, the extra garage that we all want now. And are we a bit guilty of this? Because we need to make sure that the foundations are good. Do we look at a new appraisal system? We've got new leadership behaviours, new training, but what about the basics of being a good leader every day? Because if you want to add the extra floor, you need those foundations to be good. And what I mean is about being transformation in everything we do as leaders. So it shouldn't mean we have to change everything all the time. It's about getting the everyday right. And if we don't, when we do try and change things, it's going to be shaky to say the least. And we're very focused as a trust in making every contact count with patients, but what about with staff? Do we as leaders think about that? Because really with leadership, it really does come down to sweating the small stuff. And I haven't pinched this from Roy's speech, but if we are to transform the NHS, we need to do it from here, within, not above and not outside. We talked about the three most important fundamental concepts of transformational leadership, which was communication, positivity and integrity. And we felt that if you could achieve these approaches, you could be more transformational in your approach. And that's kind of working towards that goal of being able to inspire others, rather than actually telling people what to do and having all the answers yourself, because that's more autocratic leadership. Whereas to be transformational in your approach, you need to be able to inspire and motivate others to get the answers themselves. Number one, communication. Okay, snore, everyone's talked about that as much as you can. We do it all the time, we talk about how good it should be, but what about the basics? We think this is the most important thing of being a leader. As such, I just try and make sure I say hello to all my team members, that I say, how are you? Good morning, did you have a good weekend? What are your plans this weekend? Might sound like social chit chat, but it's not to be undermined, because that takes you 2 minutes and helps you understand, and if you understand your team members, you're able to motivate them to achieve targets and outcomes and transformation. But 2 minutes versus hours of meetings to resolve agreements against you as a manager or other people in your team. And also it needs to be in person ideally. Obviously not always possible, but visibility is key. If you're in an office down the corridor from your team, don't send someone an email, even if they're outside the room you're in. Get up, walk out, talk to them, look at them. We're all guilty of a technology-driven society. As Angela Hillary says, to quote her, don't stress, email less, talk to people, look at them, because we know from communication the most important part of it wasn't what we said, it's how it was said, and how do you get that from an email. And it needs to be appropriate. If you have an individual issue with a team member, talk to them on an individual basis. Don't sit in the team meeting and then tell the whole team off and just create a really negative morale and dampen anyone's kind of positivity and ideas. If you find that difficult, don't avoid it, ask for support on it. And relationships are key as well. Within a team, as a leader, you need to try and establish good relationships. How guilty are we? We all fall out with our partners, our family, our friends because of miscommunication, because they snapped at us, we snapped at them, you WhatsApp them, we Facebook them. But actually, did we ask them, are you okay? Did anything else happen to you? That takes a few minutes again, but it's worth it, because actually we need to talk to people, and that goes for managing people. Take the time to talk to them face to face and listen, but don't be tokenistic. Don't just do it in front of lots of other people to make yourself look good, because people see straight through that. And it might be you need to change the setting. At work it might not always work that well. You might need to go and do an social outing, a team meal, and that's just as important, because everyone has a social context, but as a team leader or a leader manager, it's up to you to explore that.
So the other thing that we thought was really, really important was integrity. Integrity is really everything. So what is integrity? It's the quality of being honest. And the way that I look at that is within a team, if someone comes to me and asks for something or asks me a question, or I say that I'm going to get back to that person, I'll do that. Because otherwise, if we just say, oh yeah, and take no notice and then don't come back to that person, then they're going to stop. They're going to stop coming to me with ideas or concerns, and that's when we're going to have a problem. There's going to be issues with the team itself. So it might not necessarily be the answer that they want. It may be that Megan's asking for some funding for a course, and as obviously we know, our financial situation is a little bit restricted, so obviously, not everybody can always have it, but as long as we can come to that person and say, well actually, yes, you can't go on the course, however, there is so-and-so's been on a course, it's a different way of working, you can do some mentoring, that type of thing, and as long as you've come to that person, then they'll trust you, and they come to you then with more ideas, and as we said this morning, it's from the bottom upwards that really we're going to have the new ideas, the new innovations, the new ways of working. And the other thing is to be positive, because we could all moan all day, every day I'm sure, about our problems and things. However, it's important to be positive, because positivity breeds positivity. And we should say, what things do we do well? Give ourselves a pat on the back, because that's going to be really, really important in creating an atmosphere and really an environment for moving forward and for getting the things that we want, really.
And we feel that if you can get these approaches right, that you can demonstrate that underestimated cliche of being, a transformational leadership, because the fact is you don't have to have all those ideas yourself. You just need to inspire, motivate your team members to do it for themselves. Thank you.
Really good.